in. Come in, come in, come in, come in, come in. Come in, come in, come in, come in. Come in, come in, come in, come in, y'all. Y'all know I just be writing down stuff, jotting down, jotting down. Come in, come in. Hey, sis. Hey, how you doing? You doing all right today? Come in, come in, come in, y'all. We finna get started in a few moments. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I'm doing good. I will always hype, overly hype. I get tickled every time I think of Kadisha say that I'm dramatic. I'll just be hype. And I say I am. I am a bit over the top. We about to get started in a minute, y'all. Come in, come in, come in, come in, come in, y'all. Come in. Hello. Hey, Earl Matty. You got to tell me who is it. I see you say hello, niece. It to I do. I'm hyped. I do be overly hyped. I do. I do. Hyped and nervous at the same time. Oh God. So y'all come in, come in, come in. We about to get started. I am so excited, excited and pumped up at the same time tonight. We just gonna give it a few more couple of seconds, and then we're gonna get started with everything. Thank y'all for joining us for our 2nd-year anniversary. Just excited and pumped up, and surely we all know it's to God be all the glory. Auntie, Auntie Outlaw, is that you? Why you change your name? Why you change your name, Auntie? Okay, so thank y'all for tuning back in to Soaring Above It All with Laquanza. With a Soaring Above It All is always going to be the statement that no matter what you go through and no matter what you face, that you can truly come out of it on the other side. On the other side where there's Jesus, on the other side where there's grace, on the other side where there's power, on the other side where there is peace. It doesn't matter what we face or what we go through, that we can come out of it. And I am a firm believer, and I know that you are a firm believer, and we believe in together. Okay, so what I had wanted to be able to share also tonight is that I have some things that I actually been working on just for you, to be able to um, you can tell somebody that they can soar above it, but sometimes soar above everything that they go through or everything that they face. But sometimes you have to tell them specifically, what do you mean, or how do I get to this place, right? So I got a couple of things that I wanted to be able to announce. Oh, okay. Hey, Auntie, how you been doing? And how you been doing, sis? Um, be able to release tonight, y'all. So I've been patiently and hard working at a few things, and I got two things physically that I have to be able just to promote, because I wanted to do something for Soaring Above It All second anniversary. And again, we say woo, 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 for our anniversary. And first, we gotta thank Jesus. We gotta thank God, because He is the real MVP. But I want y'all to know that y'all are some MVPs. I really appreciate every time that you push a play button, every time you hit the replay button, the share button, the stroll past, the watch. We appreciate every single thing that you do and every single way that you support. We appreciate y'all, because I'm telling y'all, y'all are the real MVPs, and y'all really, really are. So, with all of that being said, I got two things that are to announce that I just had been working out, y'all. I had started it, then I had stopped. I created these journals. Not even, I created some journals, and I created some workbooks. And these workbooks are being able to actually soar above. It's a transformational workbook where you work through issues or problems that you have in. You got 7 chapters, and you got 7 chapters in here. And it comes from every single thing to building resilience and coming out of things. Like I said, some people, you can tell that you can soar above it, but why? How do I soar above it? What's the understanding of soaring above it all? What's the understanding of coming out of it, to having clarity of what it actually means? So again, y'all, these are actually on KDP, and I will be showing y'all the link. And I actually have some hardcovers, y'all. These hardcovers are off the chains. I love them. You got a table of contents and everything. And also, with that being said, I actually got these journals that are just writing journals that you can be able to process through. A lot of people ask me sometimes, I have hard days too. I have frustrating days. And on my hard and frustrating days, I learned that being able to write through your issues is the best thing that you could be able to do, right? It's freeing. It's a no judgment zone. It's how you actually feel that you can write through it. And now I got a counselor too. Let me just tell y'all, I got a counselor, I got a journal, and I got Jesus. Okay. I got them all in the combo, But on the days where you just feel like it's just too much, don't forget, y'all, journaling helped me to be able to write through depression, helped me to be able to write through suicide, Y'all, I'm just telling you. And with that being said, we also have a place that is something special that God gave me the ideal to be able to create a blog that we can be able to communicate and talk after the fact, because it's a lot of people that tell their stories and tell their testimonies, and we don't go past to that point of hearing, and some things remind of us of the things that we have endured and that we have been through. So I created a website so where we can use a blog, and it has everything else that Soaring Above It All and Write It Out Publishing Company offers. So y'all check that out. Again, it's called soaringaboveitall.com. I will be putting it in the comment section later on, right? So, we celebrating our second year anniversary. And let me just tell y'all, because our special guest tonight is talking about her abstinency, celibacy journey. And when this first started, the very first episode was with Michelle Patrice Wade, which she has a powerful testimony of waiting in purpose, being courted in purpose, and actually being courted in purpose to actually being married in purpose. So all of these my main ones are with people that have waited in purpose, that have become married, and people that are single that are waiting in purpose. So it's intentional on what we did. And again, y'all, I had to tell every single one of y'all, thank y'all for pushing that play button. Thank y'all for clicking in all of these months. Everybody that been with me from the very first beginning, I appreciate you. Hey, cuz, thank you. You know it runs in our family, right? Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so with all of that being said, I wanted to go through every single person that had came through last year, but I didn't want to take up too much time because I had the other stuff to go on. But shout out to every single person, and shout out to McCorna Harris, because McCorna Harris really was the one who introduced me to StreamYard, and I appreciate my sister because she literally walked me through every single thing to be able to get connected, to be able to understand it, and she walked me through it, y'all, and I appreciate her. And it was over a year ago. So with all of that being said, now we're going to get into the actual meat of everything, which I got to say my thanks. And tonight we have Evangelist Angela Nabrait that's coming on, and she's gonna be sharing a story. She got more to say than just that. Y'all. She got some powerful testimonies, but for real. So okay, with all of that being said, y'all, I'm so excited. I gotta calm down a little bit. Okay, so with all of that being said, let me say my thanks. I actually came across her a couple of times, and came across her a couple of times throughout the years, where I think we was like on a program to where it was talking about grief and parents and women or men that lost their children, and then like a couple of other times that we came into passing. But just recently at Women of Thunder magazine had a book signing, and when they had the book signing, she began to tell her story, and she began to tell the things. And I love that she was so transparent in telling the story, because sometimes what do we miss in the body of Christ? That part of being transparent, that part of being real, that part of being honest about what we have gone through. Like, how can you tell somebody you made it out of something, but you don't tell me you made it out of anything? So, and it's not always just pretty and glitz and glamour on this side. Sometimes it's rough, and we just want to hear the stories of people saying that they came through, they survived, and they came on the other side. What we talking about? Soaring above it all, right? So with all of that being said, I said my things. Now let's welcome our guest on the night, the woman of the hour, who we are talking about. Her name changed from Jita to Nabrait. Okay, so we're gonna welcome her into the room. So y'all give some clapping hands in the comment section. Woo!
Hello, hello.
Hey! Look, we be too excited. I had told her the other day, I was like, I'm glad it's morning time, and you're still excited too. Hey, so we welcomed you into the building. We welcomed you into the room. With all of that being said, I said my parts, but I also want you to be able to introduce yourself and tell us more about who you are.
Okay, I am Angela Jeter Nabrait. That is my legal name now, and I am so thrilled to be here. I am so glad to be here, y'all, and I'm just here as Angela, and I
Yes.
want to be as transparent as I can, and I'm not one of those that will tell the glory but don't tell the real story. That is
You
not
better come on.
that is not me, because I've been rescued to become a rescuer. So have I got it all right yet? No, but I'm on my way. Okay.
Come on.
My professional job is, I've been a nurse for probably about 38 years, and I am doing something new. I'm contract nursing, and I am doing just started a job 3 weeks ago with mental health, and I think that's my niche. And I am married as of 1 year, this past March the 22nd, and I give God the praise for that. Yes, yes, yes. My husband's name is David, and I am the mother of two. Apostle Robinette told me I should say two, because I had a son that I lost in 1999 at the age of 19, but he's still my son. He's just not
Yeah.
on his side. So, and my daughter, she is married with 3 children, and she is a licensed therapist, and her husband is in education. So, and my parents
Oh,
are still living. I am a preacher's kid, and my
yeah.
dad is pastoring, and my mom is a evangelist, and they had 4 girls, and all of us are carrying the word, other than my oldest sister who passed away 5 years ago. So
Oh,
yes,
wow. So
yes,
it. Oh, wow.
yes.
Okay.
That's me in a nutshell. I'm just me.
Yeah, you are. Just
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the thing.
Okay.
Okay. So, with all that being said, so Evangelist has told y'all who she is
Okay.
and some of the things that she are. She told you about her family as well too. And so now we have an icebreaker. We do the icebreaker just to loosen on up.
Okay.
The loosen on up, right?
Okay.
So our icebreaker is, what is something that you love to do for fun and why?
What is something I love to do
Yes,
and
for fun.
for fun, and why? I'm gonna
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
you, I love to karaoke. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know that about me, but I haven't done it in a minute since I've been married. But me and some of my, yes, I love the karaoke. I love to karaoke. Yes, I do, and it always ends up in a concert. So, and I end up getting requests.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love
So,
that. I love doing that, and I love walking. Yeah.
oh, wow. So, I mean, did you always just have a love for music,
I did.
or
I did. My mom says that whenever I came out when I was born, I cried in unison on note.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And so I come from a musical background. And so me and my sisters had a group, the Voices of Hope, and we used to go
oh,
around singing. And my dad gave one of the biggest singing programs every year. And so we just grew up singing. And
oh,
we still do that now when we go to family dinners and everything. We always end up talking about the Lord and end up singing.
see, I did not know that you sung too.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
wow. Oh, okay. So I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. You said your family is very musically inclined.
Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, my uncle, I think probably about maybe 20 years ago, he did our family tree, and we knew we
Mhm.
was kin to the Glens from Whitmire, South Carolina. And as it turns out, we're very close related to the Winans.
You're right.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Now.
yeah. So,
It's amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Oh wow! So y'all was it like basis of like quartet singing, or was it just contemporary, or it was just all gospel?
A genre of it all. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Oh wow! Okay, so
Yeah.
I come from a musically inclined family too, and it's everything.
Yeah.
My oldest sister is, I mean, everything. She had us listen from country to
Absolutely.
rap.
Uh, yeah.
It was a little bit of everything. I know a
Yeah.
little Shania Twain and
Oh
everything.
yeah. Oh yeah. Loretta Lynn.
Yes. Okay. Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
It's so amazing when you just learn so much about people and their backgrounds and who they are. And you never know. I have never heard you sing, so I did not know you sang.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just yes. Okay. So with all of that being said, and we thank you for our icebreaker.
Okay.
And you told us already that the reason why you love to do it because you already it's already in your family, it's in your blood.
Yes, ma'am.
So, so with all of that being said, now we're gonna get into
Okay.
the basics of the interview. And I
Okay.
always start out like this because a lot of times with as younger, what we experience or some things that we go through, it does create the why are we the way we are when we get older. So it could be either good or bad. Can you start out with something like that was like one of your youngest memories?
One of my, whew, I pretty much grew up the sick child out of the four children, and I can remember I used to have nosebleeds a lot. So I was
Mm,
more sheltered. I was more sheltered than the other three, right? And so
yeah.
I think I grew up, asking God why, you know,
Mm,
why
Jesus.
do I have to, why do, and I mean, absolutely at least twice a week at some time, for a period of years that I had to go to the emergency room and get my nose packed and all of that. And so it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And so
Mhm.
I grew up as the sickly child. I couldn't go outside and play like the other kids could, like my other
Mhm.
sisters could. And I was pretty much more sheltered than the other ones. Um,
Oh
uh,
wow.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so that was probably my biggest memory of my childhood that I can remember.
Did they ever say like why did you have nosebleeds? Did they ever?
We found out later on that it was severe allergies, and I take allergy shots now. So, yeah,
Oh wow. Okay. And
yeah,
that's something that allergies was something that you deal with ever since being a younger
yeah,
kid.
yeah,
Oh wow. And
yeah.
you said being sheltered. So was you in the house watching TV or was you in the house singing?
Well, all of the above, and
Yeah.
in the house doing your chores and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah.
Did it
We
make you feel any type of way that seeing the
yeah,
other kids?
yeah. I felt like I was different. I used to look out the window, and I was like, why can't I play like everybody else? So growing up, I felt as if God made me different.
Jesus. Yeah.
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 And
Like
it,
a.
it it was kind of before receiving healing, you know, it was pretty traumatic being that
Oh
small
wow.
and just feeling different. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
How long did it last?
Well, until I think I grew out of it when I was probably about 9. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Did you get to go back to like normal activities, or
Oh,
no? You never went back?
absolutely. My mom and dad, they used to pray for me, and we claim that to be God's healing, because I've not had
Mhm.
a nosebleed since, right?
Oh,
And
amen.
then I got into cheerleading, you know, in Pee Wee. I know what that's such thing now, Pee Wee. And then junior high, and then I played everything with a ball. I played basketball. I played fast pitch softball. I used to outrun everybody. I was homecoming queen. I was very active.
Oh,
From
wow.
hit the ground running.
That's what I was gonna say. You said, "Hey, as soon as I could feel the ground, touch the ground, and feel the air,
Yeah,
I was on the road."
I was
So,
on.
Pastor April said, "Lonely." Did you feel long? You felt lonely. You said you felt different, but did you feel lonely even in that time too?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, and
Okay.
as a child, I even questioned God, why? You know,
Mhm.
why I don't see anybody else going through this? Why? I felt like I was, even though my mom and my dad loved me,
Mhm.
but I was just that sheltered. And as a child, you don't understand that. Yeah,
Oh wow. Yeah. You
I,
don't.
I felt by myself. Yeah,
Mhm. Oh wow.
yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, that surely would make you feel
Mhm.
isolated and different
Oh,
at the same time.
oh yeah.
Um, and not having the understanding that at that age, because I guess with a child mind, you think of it in a different way than actually it was, and it could have been some protection somewhere too. Never
Mhm.
know. Make it different, but
Mhm.
protection also too. You don't never know.
Mhm. And then I used to walk in my sleep too.
Oh wow. Yes.
Yeah, I used to walk
Okay.
in my sleep, and my mom would say that I would come and walk in her room or walk outside, and I would be talking.
Hmm.
It's almost like it was prophetic.
Oh wow. Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So in the middle of your dreams, just being able to
Hmm.
speak whatever is being spoken to you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Wow, that's amazing though.
Hmm. Yeah.
And what about age that was? Was that still in the
That was
time
during that,
of?
that was during that time. That was
Oh
doing
wow.
that was during that time. Yeah. And then that,
Oh,
I no longer I stopped the nosebleed, stopped the walking in my sleep. It's kind of like all stopped at the same time. But then I start to have dreams.
okay. So tell us about what kind of dreams like.
Well, I'll give you one kind of like that I vividly remember, but it was in my
Hmm.
adulthood. But I used to have dreams like this, like prophetic dreams. And I can remember dreaming where I saw two mountains,
Hmm.
and in two big mountains as far as you can look up and see, and they was right next to each other. And then people was you could hear people screaming and hollering and crying out for help, and people start jumping off the mountains because the mountains caught on fire.
Jesus.
And that was like a year, and it came back to me what that dream was, and everything was like destitute and dark, and everything was like rubble. And that was like a year before the Twin Towers fell.
Oh my. Oh
And I
wow.
Yeah, and I told my mother about it. I told my mother about it. Yeah.
Oh
And she
wow.
said, well, you just pray. And I just, felt like it was significant. And I always write down when I have a dream like that. Yeah. So
Yes, to be
but
able to
but
remember details.
from like 10 years old, I've had dreams. Yeah.
Oh
Hmm.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Good and bad. Good and bad.
yes. So but prophetic at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So is there anything that from a young age, anything good or bad, I always say good or bad that you can remember of anything.
From a young age.
Yes.
A young age. I can remember a lady that I used to adore. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I saw her. That's not a good example. I want to think of something good. Oh, something very simple. Okay, growing up, we didn't have a lot, but we had
Mm-hmm.
more than everybody else in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
I think we were the first ones to get a colored TV,
Oh
microwave,
wow.
stuff like that. Yeah. And because
Mm-hmm.
my mom and dad were worked in the mill, and we were better off than most of the people in the town. And so it was so funny. I prayed to God, and he showed me later that my dad was in the yard putting it together. I prayed for a swing.
Oh wow.
I prayed for a swing, and I forgot about it. And I was probably about 6. Prayed for a
Mm-hmm.
swing, forgot about it. And months later, and I had a dream, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw, and I think that night I had tried to go, was looking out the window, and my mom was asking me, what are you doing? I think there's a swing. I had a dream that there's a swing out there, and my dad had
Yeah.
already, he had already got it.
Oh wow. Ain't that something?
And it was the same thing with the swimming pool. I saw it, and I didn't even pray for a swimming pool because I really don't like sharing water with people because I'm funny about that.
So so do you still don't like to now?
No, no,
So
no,
you don't you're not going to a public swimming pool.
no, ma'am.
What?
Let you have that. I'm not
Oh,
doing that.
you're right.
No, because think about it. Think about it. You
I
had
don't want to
you
look.
got all,
you
yeah.
you about to traumatize me right now.
That's the nurse part of me. I'll pass. Yeah.
Oh
But
wow.
but I had that dream about the pool that we had one. And a
Hmm.
few days later, my dad came with it.
And then boom, like so you feel like even the thoughts that you had was prophetic because if you was praying for a daggone swing and then you got the swing not too long after that, so it was already, is that the Lord training you already to speak
Yeah,
a thing and it
yeah,
come to pass? You
that's
know what
right.
I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Amen, God.
Yeah.
And I bet you if you knew completely what that meant at that time, you'll be praying for all kind of stuff.
God knows that. God knows
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, is there anything else like you could think of, or something that happened that was also like traumatic, or something that you experienced or went through that you can just it just stands out in your mind?
In my adulthood, in my well, in
You,
my
no,
in my adulthood, in my
we building up to that point.
okay,
So building up to that point, you don't have to go into adulthood yet,
okay,
because it's I want people to know exactly who you are before
okay,
you even get to like your the meat part of what we're talking about.
okay, okay,
Just we building up into that. We
okay, okay.
more about you.
I knew well in my I used to always see myself holding a baby
Hmm.
as a young person.
Oh
I
wow.
Yeah, I always saw myself, and so I was drawn. That's why I went into pediatrics whenever I first got my license. But I was drawn to that in my infancy. I was always having somebody's baby, and even as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, when we went around people, when we was at church, I was always drawn to babies, and
Oh wow.
it was more so I was always drawn to baby boys. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
And just drawn to them. And I always had the same dream that I was holding a baby. And
Mm-hmm.
and if the baby was familiar to me. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
when I had the dream whether it was mine or not, but I was in
Mm-hmm.
the bed when I was holding the baby. Not in
Oh
the house
wow.
yet, but in the bed, you know. And then
Mm-hmm.
my mama had, at that time, well, because I got pregnant on my first time at 15. And
Mm-hmm.
that dream leading up to that point, my mom and dad, because they had 4 girls, they was gonna adopt a little boy, right? And
Oh.
okay, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But my mama had a prophetic dream when they was almost done with the adoption down to the wire, and it was her or either another family that was going to get the baby, and they had chose to give the baby to my mom and dad. Well, as it turns out, she came and she talked to us, and she always put us on the couch and talked to us, and she said, we're not going to get the little boy, you're not going to get a brother. Well, why? We was upset. And she said,
Mm-hmm.
God showed me in a dream that we
Oh
gonna
wow.
have our own little boy.
Oh
I don't
wow.
know. I don't know how, but we're gonna have our own little boy. So she gave her and my dad stopped the adoption. And within
Mm.
a year and a half, I was holding that baby.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so oh wow, ain't that something though? That going up for the adoption to be able to get another baby, and then the Lord tell them, no, y'all about to have y'all own baby, and then the next thing you know, the baby is actually
My,
truly there. So your mama sound like she prophetic
oh,
too.
absolutely. Look, if she tell you a duck can pull a truck, go ahead and hook him up.
I'm gonna believe it. Oh wow.
She just like
So
she just like apostle.
oh God. Peeping in your window, and you didn't know they was in the window.
Yes, yes, I love it.
Yes, amen. Amen. So I want to, before you get to that, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
So you became pregnant at the age of 15. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit more, talk about that a little bit more? Because you said that y'all came from a church, you was a church family.
Yes, yes,
So I just wanted to know, like, what was the process? How did you feel in the middle of the process?
okay.
Because we was actually just having a conversation. I was actually having a conversation with one of my aunts, and she was just talking about in that time of when they was growing up, like you really did go before the church, and you went before the church and you said whatever you needed to say. And I was like, yeah, right. They really made y'all do. She was like, yes, we really had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And her mama tried to make her do it, but then she didn't do it. But I want to talk about that. Did you have any like issues with being so young and actually getting pregnant, as because you say you're a PK in
Right,
the church?
right. I had problems with myself, okay,
Hmm.
but that didn't come from my parents
Oh wow. Okay.
because it went. So I'm gonna do it. Say it quickly. Whenever I got pregnant, it was like a one-time thing, and I didn't think I really. And to be perfectly transparent, I'm okay to be
Hmm.
transparent. Okay,
Yes.
being in the place where I was told after a game, a mom wants to come and take pictures of us in our uniform, right?
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
went by the house, mom wasn't there. Okay, and I was crazy about this guy, and only thing I had got from him was a forehead kiss. Well, we ended up, long story short, 5 seconds, move your hand, that's not my hand, me jumping up,
Oh. Okay.
right?
Oh. Oh.
Right. I
Yeah.
didn't think,
Yeah.
I really didn't think anything happened. I really didn't, but enough happened. And I still have my chart where my mama came and told me, she said, I want to I made you an appointment. I'm taking you to the doctor. When the last time you saw that time of the month? Okay.
Oh wow.
I don't know, mommy. I just started. I had 2
Mm-hmm.
because I started at 15, right?
Oh wow.
Late,
Okay.
late. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know. To the doctor, we drove back home. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. And on my chart in Union, South Carolina, the doctor, Dr. Fielder,
Mm-hmm.
said 16 weeks gestation, hymen remains intact.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So
Yeah, we'll just leave that there. So what happened with that is what we did was when we talked to me and my mom, my dad, and me in the back seat, we talked all the way home. And they
Mhm.
honed in to me. What we want you to do is keep your head up. We want you to finish school, and we're gonna help you
Oh
because
wow.
it is not the sin. What you did to get the baby was the bad thing. And God is
Mhm.
able to forgive you.
Oh yes. Oh
They
yes.
never fussed. They just hit it head on and said that we are proud of you. I mean, they encouraged me. God still, you are at you just detoured, but you
Mm-hmm.
can get back on path. The only thing you got to do is ask the Lord to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh yes.
So I had
Yes.
that support. I had that support. You hear me? But
Oh yes.
I myself within myself said, Angela, what kind of person are you? You know, you got your mom and dad. Your mom is a pastor. Your mom evangelist. All your other sisters are not doing stuff like this, and you the black sheep.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you bring shame on your family? That's what I
Oh
thought.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Jesus.
So it was not them.
Mm-hmm.
It was me.
Oh
And
wow.
that came from that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 year old having nosebleeds and thinking and looking out the window, you different
Mm.
from the rest
Mm.
of them. So
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't expect any better. This is what you do.
Mm.
This is
Oh
what you do,
wow.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what
So
the
thank God
enemy
for
does. Ear and tell you all of that stuff to make you feel some type of way. And even though you didn't get that from your mama and your daddy, it was still the enemy speaking in your ear to
right.
downplay the moment and to downplay those. So,
Yes.
it's just crazy that it's just crazy. And
Mhm.
thank God that your parents had spoke to you
Oh
from
yeah.
that place of love,
Mhm.
from the place of love. Everybody don't always get that place of love. They
Mhm.
do not. They do not. I know from experience, don't always get that place of love when
Mhm.
something like that happens, and it does. It makes a difference,
Mhm.
and it does makes a difference how your kids receive what you're saying
Mhm.
and take it. So I'm just glad to be able to hear that. So, but I wanted to ask a question.
Mhm.
Okay, so everything was intact. So what happened with you and the young man?
When I was pregnant, I continued to go to school, and I would have a hemoglobin problem, and I would pass out, and he would be in the gym, and his boys would tell him, "Man, come help Diane." That's what they called me in high school,
Mhm,
Diane. Come help
mhm,
us get her up and get her to the nurse, and she carrying your baby. And he would call me out of my name and said, bleep, 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 bleep. He never took anything to do with me. Never.
oh,
He never took ownership until I had the baby and he came in. He graduated a year before I did, and he left and went to Washington and his mother, who was always in my life and in my son's life.
Oh wow, yeah.
He came home and he knocked on the door, and I was laying in the bed and had Michael beside me, and my dad came in there. You want to get me to do anything, tell my dad to tell me to do it. Yeah.
So you're a daddy's girl.
And my dad saying is do the right thing because it's always the right thing to do.
Oh
Right.
wow.
And
Yes.
so he came in there, he said, staying in there, he want to see his son. And I said, no, he's not seeing his son, because this ain't his son. Just like that. And my dad looked at me and said, I always taught you, do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And I said, okay, let him come in here. My son was 7 days old.
Okay.
And he never laid eyes on my son after he left for that 15 minutes. He never laid eyes on him again until he was 6.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Did he ever say why he didn't want to be connected? Because honestly, if the truth be told, he the one used deception to be able to get you into a place where you were by yourself. So
Yeah.
it's as if he was mad at you, but how can he be mad at you when he was the one who told a lie in the moment?
He was broken.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he was broken. He started drinking, and he didn't feel like he could do a good job. You know what I'm saying? And his rejection was really God's protection.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because my dad was supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God set the whole thing up. God set the whole thing up because, Michael was my son, but he was my dad and my mom's son too.
Oh
If,
yeah.
if
Oh yeah.
that makes sense. And God
Yes.
blessed me to have him for 19 years.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So being a young mother
Hmm.
did you ever have like any challenges outside of actually accepting what had happened for yourself? Like, did you have any challenges? Did you face anything in that moment?
Oh,
Like,
yes. Oh,
I
yes.
know. I'm sorry. Well, tell us more, please.
Yes. Yes. I never, all the way up until he passed away. This is what kept me stuck in the
Mhm.
stumbling place when he passed away at 19. I never
Yes.
felt nothing that my parents ever did, but I never felt worthy to be his mother because of that,
Jesus.
because of that inadequacy from my childhood. I didn't feel like I
Mm.
had what he needed, even though I was
Mhm.
there for him. But my mom was my backbone as far as him, because I always got her. I never stood up in my motherhood for him, if that made sense.
Oh, wow. What do you mean when you say that?
I allowed or depended on them to make all decisions for my son. Really.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Yes.
I never spoke up for him. I didn't.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's what kept me in the place where the stump I just did not feel worthy that I could be his mother, even though I was his mother. He saw me as his mother. He respected me as his mother. He lived with me. Every weekend he went to my mom and dad's house because he liked to go to church with them, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's just that I never felt, even though I didn't voice that over to him, I didn't voice that over until later after some healing took place with my parents. After he was
Mhm.
gone, I never felt like I was worthy to be his mom.
Oh, wow. And but elaborate on that part of why didn't you feel worthy enough to be his mom?
Because I had this ideation in my mind where I said, when you was a child, you was always different, and you were the last one to get saved. Are you really saved? You had him out of wedlock. None of the other sisters did that. They waited until their marriage night and consummated. All three of them did that. You the one that didn't do that. God don't listen to you. I really believed that. So I didn't feel like I was worthy to raise a little person into a big person. And then plus with the inadequacies of his father.
Yes.
So I said, my mom and dad could do a better job.
Yes. Can I ask you this question?
Uh-huh.
Did you ever blame yourself
I
for
did.
the rejection that his daddy? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
did. Go
Oh
ahead and say it
wow.
so everybody else could know what we're talking about.
What you said? I couldn't hear you.
I said, go ahead and say what you was finna say so everybody knows
Oh,
what we're talking about.
I had with the question I had wanted to ask. Did you ever blame yourself too because his father wasn't present in his life?
Mm-hmm.
And
I
then
did.
he didn't want to be, around him. And it was the rejection of, the father, and then
Mm-hmm.
the rejection of you, but the rejection of the child as well.
You got it in a
Oh,
nutshell.
yeah.
If I wasn't good enough for him,
Hmm.
my first love, you
Oh,
know,
wow.
and
Mm.
I sacrificed my innocence by even
Yeah.
allowing myself to be in that space
Yeah.
for the short time that I did, knowing what my parents and how they had raised me, and knowing the relationship that I had with God.
Jesus.
If I wasn't worthy of him, I sure wasn't worthy of this precious little boy.
Oh, wow. And
No,
did you feel not worthy before God as well too? Because it seemed as
absolutely.
though to me that the enemy was trying to plague you with that part of not feeling worthy enough in all of the relationships that were important relationships to kind of like, I say put you in your place. The enemy try to
Yeah.
put you in your place
Oh yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You can't
I'm,
be better than that. You know what I'm saying?
oh
Or you
yeah. I'm
can't
punching
be.
out now though.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
In the head now.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just but it's just the tactics that he used in any
Yeah.
kind of doorway that he can begin to plague you in your mind and your thoughts, how you process it, how you think it, and in those silent places where he began to speak so much louder. And sometimes it's not that we didn't know the truth;
Oh
it's that
yeah.
we knew the truth, but then we believe that lie that he spoke because the lie sound better than
Mm-hmm.
saying that you was a good person or you could
Yeah.
have did it or you could, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
So,
yeah. I felt like sometimes out during that time that, and I use this analogy that I'm in a dark room. I
mhm.
know I'm in a dark room.
Yes.
See where the door is because I see the hint of light coming from the other side, from the crack under the box.
Mm,
Now I know where that door is, but I could
yeah.
pick myself up and go and turn the knob. Literally,
Jesus.
you see what I'm saying? I could not do it. I
Yes.
could not do it because I believed that I couldn't.
Yeah.
But you
Jesus.
might well just stay. You deserve to stay in here in this dark room anyway. Ain't nobody out there gonna pay you no attention.
Mm, Jesus.
Yeah.
Mm. Ain't that something though?
And yeah.
Yeah. Mm, mm. I guess I get just stuck on the part that at those tender young ages, how
Mm,
it just try to distract you from the way that God really truly feels about us.
absolutely.
And it's yeah, it's kind of just crazy. It's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy. But I
Mm-hmm.
had wanted to just do okay. Danielle Murray, Minister Danielle Murray said, "I love how your parents handled that." And Apostle Robinette Smith said, "Go on and testify, sis. That's good."
Yeah.
So I'm just, just oh wow, okay. I'm just, it just yeah, when you just think about it, and I just think about it, just being so young and getting those two voices mixed up, and then you don't know no better, so you listen to the voice that lead you farther away from your true purpose or sometimes your true destiny. I feel like, I mean, you are already a force to be reckoned with, because if you could think a thing and pray for a thing and then it happened, but when the enemy comes in and he try to causes that self-doubt in those moments to be able to taint who you truly, really, really are,
Mm-hmm.
then you get what I'm saying? He has
Oh
a
yeah.
foothold. Get
Oh
in
yeah.
it. You
Yes, ma'am.
know? So
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
like,
Whew.
it's just wow. I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah, because he was trying real hard.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Real hard.
Yeah.
So I know you had shared with us about not feeling like worthy to, like, be present, and your parents were better at raising them. So your parents did, that was like they son.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you said, like you said, he still live with you, and
Yeah.
he still stay with you. But tell us about Michael's personality. Tell us about him.
Oh my goodness. Michael didn't meet a stranger.
Oh wow.
My son passed away. They shut down 3 high schools for my son
Oh wow.
on
Mm.
that Friday. They shut down 3 high schools and they bust the people in. They had to put speakers up on the outside of the church and everything. They
Oh
stopped.
wow.
They stopped counting at I think 2-3 thousand people. And
Oh
for three
wow.
years, I opened up a card.
Mhm.
For 3 years, I would open up a card like once a week. I had a big Sterilite full of just cards, cards, cards. And people
Oh
came back to me saying, your son used to cut my grass, and your son used to, and I don't know these people. Yeah. He was
wow.
full of life, full of wisdom in his young years. He really
Mhm.
was. And if you was having a bad day, just let him show up.
Oh wow. And then you said they go that smile gonna
Yeah.
come out. They that love that they could
Oh yeah.
feel.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh, oh yeah. Oh
ain't that
yeah.
amazing? You
Hmm?
know. So you talked about his personality and talked about his personality, but tell us about, like, the moment to actually what happened and what actually happened to him as
Okay.
he got older, or processor.
Okay. Okay. Now, I had 4 dreams. Thinking about the prophetic dreams, I had 4 dreams after
Mm-hmm.
he was born. I had a dream of, and every single time, the only person that could calm me was my mother. She would have to get out of work, wherever she was, she had to come to me. I had a dream where he was on a red trike, a red tricycle, you know, the 3-wheeler, when he was like maybe 3.
Oh
And
wow.
the street we lived on, Calhoun Street, runs into the highway that goes to Clinton, South Carolina. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember having that first dream where a car hit him. And I woke up. And then years later, I had a dream of him on a red bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
Dream. And then I had the third dream when he was on a red motorcycle, right? And
Yeah.
then the fourth dream was true.
Oh
When
wow.
I got that call, and my sister Becky asked me on February, I was getting ready for work. I was working at Lawrence County Hospital, and I was married at the time. And they told me that my husband was getting ready to go to work, and he worked third shift. And they called him at 11 o'clock. He's supposed to be at work at 12, and said, "We're laying you off for 2 weeks. The machine is down."
Oh wow. Mm-hmm.
And I went to sleep, and all that day, Sunday, I tried to find my son because I saw him Saturday. He went to Whitmire to be with my mom now, and I woke up Saturday morning looking for him. And everywhere I called, they said, "Yeah, he outside in the yard. Let me go get him." and they'll come back to the phone. He just left. 12 phone calls. He just left. He just left. You
Wow.
just missed him. And so that Sunday night, I'm getting ready for work for the next morning, and they lay my husband off at the time, and I lay down, and at 12:01, it felt like somebody stuck a shovel in my gut. And I came up off the bed. My husband said, screaming.
Mm.
And I immediately knew that my son had took his last breath.
Oh wow.
And I laid
Jesus.
back down. And so I laid back down. And so like 30 minutes later, my sister, Becky, called
Yeah.
me.
Mm.
And she said, please tell me Mike made it home. And I said, no, he ain't got here yet. And she said, I'll call you back. And so she called me back and said we needed to go to Lawrence County Hospital, that he was had a wreck and it was bad. And my husband was saying, we need to hurry up. We need to hurry up. I said, there's no need to hurry.
Oh
I
wow. Because you
start
already do.
walking. I just start walking and praying. I said, I'll wait for you in the car. And I just walk around outside praying, Lord, you're going to have to help me with this.
Mm. Jesus.
Yeah, I knew it. And that's what time he hit the pole at 12:01. And they said he immediately, 12:01.
Jesus.
And so that's how it happened. February 22nd.
Jesus.
1
Can
minute
I
after.
ask you?
Hmm?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I
You
have
go ahead.
an extra question.
Uh-huh.
Did having those dreams since he was little, did that ever like cause you
Yeah.
to like be fearful or like think like, oh Lord, what's gonna happen? Did it ever install any like fear in you just to like to worry about him, or you was like,
It would I always I think that had a lot to do with why I let my mom and my dad kind of him go there every weekend, because at some point, whenever I was going through a divorce, they went to school, and I changed their school to Whitmire.
oh
And
wow,
I thought in my mind, well, if he is with them, they got stronger relationship. I thought they had a strong relationship. This is my mind talking.
mm-hmm.
They got a
Yeah,
strong relationship with God than I do. It's two of them. They are a unit, they can keep him safe. You think that in your mind.
yeah, oh yeah,
And you're starting to grieve because of that fear even before it happens. So fear, yes. Mm-hmm.
oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
mm. Yeah, because I guess it's just the back to back of the dreams from childhood to adulthood, and it be, like you said, the last dream you had was the truth. That's what really had happened. But the other ones is just like
Yeah.
showing you before a moment of what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I just, wow.
And I
Okay.
thought, and I thought at the time that it was
Hmm.
just me being in my feelings, and it was just me being insecure about who I was. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow.
I never
Yeah.
thought. I never thought, you know what I'm saying? I never
Mhm.
thought. I just felt like, the fear came not with that something was going to happen to him. The fear
Mhm.
came of, you need to let your mom and dad uh, uh, have a lot to do with how you raise your son. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And I thought it
yeah.
was better. And I thought, really, okay, this is a sign that God is saying that you need to let them be in his life a whole lot more
Okay.
so than you. You know what I'm saying? This
Oh
is God.
wow.
This is God's way of saying that you need to let them rear him and not you.
Oh wow. I mean, did you feel like that something would happen just because he was with you? or did you feel like you wasn't raised as
Sometimes,
though you would?
yeah, sometimes I felt that way. I
Oh
really did.
wow.
Sometimes I felt that way. Yeah.
I mean, did you have a like? Did you do like reckless things, or was it just something that was just in your mind that made you feel that way?
So repeat that again. Now I want to answer that right.
Did you do like reckless things in order for you to feel
No,
that way? Or
no,
okay, so it's just in
no.
your mind telling you
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
Because
wow.
I always worked, and I always, they, my mom and dad always wanted me to further my education, do good for myself. So I've always done that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, ma'am.
I've
Yes,
always
ma'am.
done that. Have I been perfect? No.
Oh yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Surely we know.
yeah,
We know. We know. Hey.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so you get to that moment to where you waking up out of your sleep and you waking up out of your sleep at 12:01 and your husband saying, come on, rush, let's go to the hospital. But you already know that at 12:01 when you felt that feeling that came out of your dream, that it was the last moment. So tell us like the moments after that. Were you numb, or was you just knew it was nothing you could do?
I think I just went to that. I went to a room
Mm-hmm.
without leaving the room I was in. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I really actually went 3 months. Other than going to the funeral, I went 3 months without ever leaving my house.
Oh wow. Tell us
No,
some of those emotions or why you was feeling that way. Why?
this your fault. It's your fault.
Gee.
Because I didn't tell you this. I didn't tell you this because I have to tell and be transparent to tie all this in. And and
Okay.
and to tie all this in. I felt unworthy, and I felt this was my fault because 2 years before, well, not 2 years, like it was, okay, let me get it right. Okay, Mike was born in 79.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany was born in 85. In either 81 or 82, I had an abortion.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
did.
that
Yeah. And so,
wow. So
God, you taking my son because I took yours. Right?
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So were you said in between the time, so in between your daughter that was born in 85 and your son that was born in you
79.
said
79.
79, and then you had your abortion at 82.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow, so it was right in between the time. What caused you what caused you to want to get an abortion? What were you
Because
thinking? What was the
I was okay. I was alone.
Mhm.
I was working, and I can remember my grandmama saying, "Don't you go to Newberry," because my mom got me an apartment and everything close to where I was living, which was like 30 minutes away from her. And my grandmother, who I love dearly, God rest her soul, told me, "Don't you go to Newberry and get now another baby," right? And
Mhm.
so I already got a baby. Okay. They taking care of my baby because I don't feel worthy and because they're helping me, right? Because I'm working
Yeah.
in the nursing home, and this happens. This happens again.
Ma'am.
Okay. So I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I don't know what I'm going to do. That's what I would say to
Mhm.
myself. So what I'm going to do is I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. Okay, Angela, what are you going to do? I stopped going to Whitmire. I started coming up with excuses not to go to Whitmire and pick Michael up. I started picking up shifts. So my next door neighbor, God puts rams in the bush, but he
Oh,
also
yes.
put devils in the bush too. Not God. The devil put devils in the bush. You know what I'm saying? Because you know the devil try to duplicate what God do.
Yeah.
So let me say that again. God puts rams in the bush for you.
Come on now.
There's no temptation that's not coming to man, but God is faithful that with every temptation, God, you know the scripture, right? The devil
Yes.
try to do the same thing, and he'll
Yes.
come in the bush too, but it'll be a
Yes.
fox. It don't be no ram, it'll be a fox. So my next door neighbor ended up coming over there. She had never been to my house. Come over there and start talking to me. She said, "Well, I can help you. I can help you. I know somebody." I said, "Well, at this point, it's too late. At this point, it's too late." She said, "Well, I know somebody in Columbia that can help you." So at the time, I was far enough along, and I can vaguely remember everything.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sound and everything. And
Yes.
it was a boy.
Jesus.
It was far enough long to know that it was a boy.
Oh, wow.
You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yes.
I told
And
you don't get wrong.
yes, 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 yes. Come on now.
My story is not peaches and cream.
Yes, ma'am. And I appreciate that. And we should all appreciate that for the transparency
Yeah.
that you share. But even myself have had an abortion. And when you just said, I can remember the sounds, I could remember the being in the room and being in the room to where it was silent, it was damp, it was cold, I felt like.
Yes.
But I remember the cries of the women as I was in there, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just the worstest feeling. I remember seeing the blood that was when they begin to vacuum the baby out, because that's what they do
Yes.
out. I remember the pain, everything. So when you said that, I was like, wow, yeah, that affects you in a way that is not understandable to the experience that to go through that. That's torment on your own self. And I had to actually go through a abortion class because I wanted to do service, and I was like, I'm gonna do something. And I was like, oh, I can talk to the ladies about that. And they was like, before, have you ever had an abortion? I was like, yes, I have. So I thought they had qualified me to be able to. They was like, nah, you got to get delivered.
Yeah.
You got to get delivered before you
Yes.
work with these babies. So
Yes.
I can understand. And when you just said that, I was like, yeah, you can remember every single thing. And just that stillness in there where you couldn't hear it, but I just heard women weeping, and
Yes.
they were
Yes.
weeping.
Yes.
And I can remember that, just nothing else. You can't hear nobody having a conversation, and just, ooh, gosh.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so wow. So, and you say it was a lady that was the neighbor that was the devil in the bush.
Yeah. The devil in the bush. That was April Robinson. That's what she said. You got it right, April. Woman of God, you got it right. That was the devil in the bush.
Yes. And April said the doctor told me I did a great job after my first abortion, shaking my head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
great job. That's an oxymoron. That ain't no great job. But God
Yeah, yeah,
is faithful, ain't he? God
yes.
is faithful.
Yes, he is. He is faithful. And they telling you, I thank God that they didn't tell me. I probably would have been in shambles. And I know going through that process of getting healed, I was just like, Lord, I just hoped that it wasn't a girl. I hope that it was a girl. I probably would have, Lord have mercy. That would have been too much to handle,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to give that information. So,
So that
oh
came
wow.
to whenever I lost my son. This is what you get.
Oh wow.
I would talk to
And-
myself, this is your fault.
oh wow. But I had so, but you never had shared that before
With
that time. But
anybody.
oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Parents, nobody. The only people knew was my next door neighbor. And she didn't even take me because she ended up picking up a shift and her boyfriend, living boyfriend, took me.
Oh wow. You're right.
His name was Dennis.
You say I remember his name. Oh wow. Ain't that something?
And I can remember laying on his couch in a fetal position. And she came to pick me up.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Mm.
Yep.
Ain't that something? Did you even talk about like some of the emotions, or were you numb after the abortion, or was it just you
Mm-mm.
just blocked out?
I blocked it out up until my daughter was born in 85 and she was in high school
Mm-hmm.
and she was getting ready to no she was in high school getting ready to graduate and she was I just started having anxiety because she was gonna go. I was like, she gonna go away to school and she gonna leave me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
something gonna happen to her. And I can
Yeah.
remember being at church and a wonderful woman of God, two wonderful women of God, Emma and Mary. Mary's passed away now, that I went to church with. You talking about some praying women.
Yes.
Um, Emma, if she's on this line, she can attest to this. Whenever they had prayer, I went up
Mm-hmm.
and I got for her to pray for me, Emma. And Emma said, no, Mary got a word for you. And so
Mm-hmm.
I went and got in Mary's line, and she was when I walked over, she had just got done praying for the person that she was praying for, and she went up, and whenever she said lift your hands up, and she just went off and backed up, and she came to me, and she said she sat me in the floor
Mm-hmm.
away from the people, and she just started to minister to me, and she ended up rocking me like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, uh, Minister Angela, she said, let me tell you, she said, God says he forgives you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking,
Jesus.
what is she talking about? God says he's forgive. I said, yes, I know he forgives me. He forgives me daily because I asked him. He said, no, what you did in 82 that nobody knows about.
Jesus.
That
Mm.
son, that son. God
Yeah.
says he forgives you. And I didn't even remember it until I had blocked it out and pushed it down so hard that I didn't even remember it until that
Mm-hmm.
moment. And
Oh wow.
you talking about the well breaking because so much was stacked up behind that. I couldn't even heal from my son because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm.
like it was my
Jesus.
fault. And whenever God used her to bring it to the forefront, and I remembered it, the sound, the coldness, the stillness of the room, the cries, everything you just described, I
Jesus.
remembered it. And you talking about in the floor,
Mm-hmm.
wailing,
Mm-hmm.
and ended up thanking and praising God and being so grateful for the love that he had for me.
Yeah. Jesus.
Greater love has no man than this. And he died for me. And no matter how far we think we are off, or how far we are, or think we are away from God, God is so loving that if
Yes.
he is just a reach away, only thing you got to do is call out to him. I'm telling you, all you got to do is call him because I've
Yeah.
been, whoo,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I just, I done got emotional. Because you're right. That, thank God that. He loves us through those moments.
Mhm.
Um, he
Even though
just,
when we don't know, he
yeah,
was in the room when I did that.
yep.
God was in the room. He was in the room. Even then.
Yes, yes, even then. Mm,
Yeah.
Jesus,
So yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's
I
a
praise God.
very, very just amazing. He's just, he just, okay, okay, I'm gonna get myself together. I'm sorry, just, yeah,
No
just
need
make,
to apologize. Oh
yeah.
Lord. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Jesus. Um, we just, yeah, what you just said, we truly just genuinely just thank God, and like you said, just being able to um come in and just love on us, even though we know, we be wrong. And sometimes it is so true that we'll be able to literally block things out, to be able to use that mechanism to be able to cover ourselves in um, and cover up sometimes of the things that we know be wrong. But just thank God for his love that he have for us.
Yeah.
Because, you saying that, like I said, I was thinking I was all right. This was just in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I knew there was a problem and an issue with abortion, but I was
Yeah.
thinking that I was all right until they said, "Nah, you got to be delivered before you work with these ladies." I was
Yes.
like, "Delivered, Lord Jesus!"
Yes. Yes.
Walking through the process of every single thing that you could remember, and they was really strong on my part that I played in it. And I remember one lady had said in our class, and she was like, it's premeditated murder.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, premeditated murder. You don't think about it in that point.
Mm-mm.
But premeditated murder,
Mm-mm.
I thought about it before I acted it. Even though mine's, let me go back. I had to say my part that I did, but mine's was actually literally against my own will.
Okay.
It was forcing into doing a thing,
Okay. I got
and
you.
I carried so much shame and I carried so much hurt um with just
Yeah.
that process of no, because see, when you talk about, I understood the fact of what it felt like to lose kids and to pray that this God that my daddy tell me about, that a miracle would happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then you are forced against your will to go into a room and do something that you don't really feel comfortable doing. But the thing is, they're telling you you don't have somewhere to go if you don't do this or you don't do that. So you make this choice, and they never thought about the sleepless nights. They never thought about the night terrors,
Oh.
the feelings after that. So it was all of these emotions just bottled up, and I'm a person that believe in, I can take stuff with chin up. I'm gonna handle it. But what happens when the things that break you literally have to come out of your heart, have to come out of your soul, and you got to tell the truth to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I had to tell the straight truth to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me for a win. I wasn't expecting. Got me crying, and I'm supposed to be doing the interview. I'm sorry, Evangelist. I'm trying to get
Don't
on.
apologize.
God,
Don't apologize.
I know, but I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Whew. Mm,
Yeah. But everything has an attachment.
mhm.
And everything that we go through, I feel like is a root issue.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And things we do today
Mm-hmm.
attached to something that we need to handle from yesterday. Does that
Yes,
make?
ma'am. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
And
Yes, ma'am.
I'm really focused and honed in on to, because I constantly reflect, and I constantly I meditate on my day, and I journal, and I'm always thinking and asking God, okay, God, okay, purge me with hyssop,
Mm-hmm.
wash and make me whiter than snow. I'm not playing the victim, but
Yes.
my main thing is to please God.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Because he has done way too much for me for me not to serve him. Do I get it right every day? No. But
Yes.
that is my focus. And because, I don't listen to what the devil say. And God shows me. I'm so grateful
Yes.
for that. I'm so grateful for that. God shows me and say, Angela, you can be a hot mess sometimes.
Yes. He does.
because of the past.
Yes.
So what God wants me to do is to never forget to remember who he says I am. And I can't listen to that voice no more.
Mm.
Because for so many years,
Yes.
it kept me stuck in the stumbling place.
Yes.
Because I was believing a lie that I was never brought up in those lies. That's the thing. I
Mm-hmm.
had parents that taught me God's word. I had parents that taught me that, Angela, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are the head and not the tail. You're above
Yeah.
and not beneath. Only thing you got to do is believe what God says about you and apply it to your life. My mama used to
Yeah.
say, get in the word, sanctify yourself in the word, and live thereby. And if you seek him first, he gonna add everything else. I
I
was
know that's
taught, I was taught. And there's somebody need to know that it doesn't matter if you were taught.
mm-hmm.
I'm not giving no praise to the enemy, Beelzebub, the devil, but
Mm-hmm.
he is real. And so what we have to do is whatever we feed, that's what's gonna lead.
Yes, that's
Whatever
true.
if we feed more into, okay, it's just like our everyday lives. How are you praying? What do you do when you get up in the morning?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
turn on the news? Or do you get on your knees? Or you get on a prayer call? What do you do? How often do you
Mm.
pick up the word when you go to church and don't pick it up no more?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you cultivating that spirit? Because we're a spirit that got a soul that lives in a body.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
holistically, we have to feed all three. But we
Mm-hmm.
have to feed our spirit man more than we feed anything else. Even what
Mm-hmm.
we put in our mouth. You know what I'm saying? Or it's gonna happen what happened to me even in adulthood. When I lost my son, I stayed in the house for 3 months.
Yes, ma'am.
And even when I came out of the house, what was I doing? I don't know where that's leading on. I ain't gonna try to go get ahead of the
No,
show.
no, no. Oh, you going right in the right spot.
Because the saga continues, looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yes.
Looking
Yes.
for love in all the wrong places. And leading up to my time when I chose to abstain, my abstinence.
Mm-hmm.
But let me be transparent about this too. And this is a nugget for somebody.
Come on. Yes, ma'am.
Because I failed at this part.
Mm-hmm.
Concerning your abstinence, the two have to go together. You just can't abstain from a man, but not, but you can't, how can I say this? I put it personal. I was abstaining, saving myself from man, but not God,
Come
because
on.
I was fulfilling my own self, if that makes sense. Y'all, that's
Yeah,
wrong. Y'all, you can't say you abstinent. You can't say you abstinent and you in there in the dark with your double D batteries or your AAA with the rabbit.
Come on now. Come on now.
What's the difference?
Come on.
What's the difference? That's all
Yep.
I say about that. So
Because it's
I can't
still.
count. Minister, I can't count 13 years.
You said. Oh no. Hey, hold on. Woo! Because hey, that right there. Okay, I know what you
If
mean.
you got any children in the room, you might want to just send them out.
Right now, immediately. Immediately.
But that's a whole nother lesson. That's a whole nother conference for us.
Yeah.
We think because we abstinence from a man, but we
Mm-hmm.
ain't pleasing God when we, that
Well,
part.
let me tell you. I want to tell you this. Woo, God. Okay, so and you telling the straight truth, right? So I remember this when I say years ago. And see, I didn't know nothing about abstinence. Nobody I was around ever talked about abstinence, right? But I had this one friend girl, and she would tell me, like, God don't want us to do this, or God don't want us to do that. And she was like, you're not supposed to have sex. Like I said, I just had got saved, but I did not know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I goes over to Apostle house. She wasn't an apostle then. She was just a minister, right? And I'm like, yeah, I ain't had sex with such and when she said, well, if you got toys.
Say that.
And I was like, you know how you just get quiet and feel guilty at the same time? So I know, but she had called me out.
I see you. God
I was just look, I was just so happy with the fact that I was sustaining from a man. But I tell you, I had my share, and that was when I tell you that was a demon that the Lord had to slay. Lord have mercy. I don't know how many I threw away and still went back to Pandora and got some.
listen. So the devil did not want. Hey, Minister April, the devil didn't want me to tell it and to hold on to that 13 years, but God said no.
Oh
Let that
wow.
13 years go because you lying.
Oh wow.
And God
Oh wow.
count that too. God count that too.
Okay.
Tomatoes. Tomatoes.
Oh Lord, I am not. Oh wow. Okay. Oh Lord. Woo, Lord, now you're making me look at myself. I'm like, well, Lord, have it been 12 years
Man,
then?
you only at 13.
You. But we abstained from. It's not funny. Woo, Lord, you done hit me with a win right there.
Thank God for deliverance.
Oh my. Okay. So come on and elaborate. Now let me ask a question.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't do me for a loop right here now. You don't do me for a loop. I was like, no, now, Lord, because let me tell you, the crazy thing is, I had never would have thought about toys, never would have thought about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my friend girls used to be sitting, and we would have wine, and then we would have wine, and we would just have conversations. We would talk about probably like our sexual sex capades, whatever we was doing, whoever we was talking to at that time. And it
Mm-hmm.
was a lady that had introduced me to toys. And she
Mm-hmm.
was like, such and such, you need to get this if you ever get an itch. And she literally went into Pandora's with me and showed me what to get. And from that moment, right then, I was literally for years addicted to actually to that was a demon right there.
She was your
That
devil. She was your devil in the bush.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, Apostle said, Evangelist, you walking as the prophet tonight with the laughing faces. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Jesus. I'm like, oh wow. Yeah. So and she introduced me to it and it was that was when you say I don't need you. I don't need you. You think I'm gonna beg you? Okay, I got something for you. I got something for
It's
you.
out of order.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
I
So
know.
come on and elaborate with us. Talk about that. Just stay on that just right quick. Come on and elaborate with that.
Okay. Okay. See, whenever, okay, here's the thing. We're a spirit that got a soul that lives in a body.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we can't, and see, here's the thing. Let me give you an example. Whenever you're going about your day, and then you get to church, and Apostle Robinette say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do a fast. We're going to do
Mm-hmm.
the fast. So you can't have this.
Yes,
Why
ma'am.
is it that before she said that, you can be a person that don't even like sweets?
Mm-hmm.
Can't have it on the Daniel fast. All of a sudden, you crave
Cookie.
sweets.
Yeah.
That's
Gummy
the
bear.
that's
Cookies.
the So why
Yeah.
do we think it's different? Okay, when you have a colonoscopy, you don't. I don't eat a bunch of stuff, but when I have a colonoscopy, I be so hungry. I
That's
be
true though.
so hungry because I can't have it. So why do we think stuff like that is going to be any different when you say to God, okay, God,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
abstain so you can get the glory out of my life.
Yes.
We're a spirit that has a
Yes.
soul that lives in
Yes.
this flesh body. Okay. What you think going to happen? It
Mm-hmm.
before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What you think gonna happen? You gonna be hungry.
Yes.
That's why I say whatever you feed, that's you gonna lead. If you don't quit smoking, don't go around smokers. If
Yeah.
you abstain, don't be looking at that love story with people in. Don't be doing that. Don't do it. Don't watch things on TV because you laying in bed and you looking and you be like, things start to tingling and you started feeling particular kind of ways, and next thing you know, you done fell off the wagon.
Don't fell out the wagon.
You see what I'm saying?
And yes, ma'am. And
That's what
it's
I'm
it's
believer. And whatever you feed, that's what's gonna lead. If you want to do something, You have to keep yourself postured.
Yes, that's true now.
Yes. And when the word of God say, what do it say? Somebody type in what it say, touch not, taste not, handle not.
Jesus.
That's the word.
Let me see.
It's in the
Yeah, oh
Bible.
yeah. I'm gonna see right now.
That's God saying, don't touch it, don't taste it, don't handle it.
Yes. And I'm oh Lord have mercy. It's a show that had came on, and it's a show that had came on, and I was watching the show, and the men was very chocolate because I like me as a chocolate man, and they had muscles, and Apostle was preaching like so serious these last weeks. And she was like, gotta stop watching that show with the built up, dark skinned men. And I was like, yo, that was me. That was me. Now, they were fine. They were fine. And I ain't finna sit right here and lie. I was like, Lord have mercy. I ain't seen one. I need to see one, Lord. So you are so right about that. Because you start wondering then, and thank God my wondering didn't get me into some trouble,
Yep.
But
Yep.
the was fine on the screen now. I ain't finna act like they was.
Right.
Ooh, Lord.
And
I ain't
see,
even gonna tell you how the show
yeah.
was.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
Oh
yeah,
wow.
I just have to kind of tell you that part because that's gonna help somebody because it sure helped me for saying it.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, ma'am. Oh
So,
yes. Oh
yeah.
yes, definitely.
Yep.
And the apostle said Colossians 2:21-23.
Thank you, Apostle. I know it was in.
Evangelist Vicky said that's the one can't be watching certain stuff. You can't be watching certain stuff on TV, and that is the truth. And Pastor April said, "Oh my gosh, LOL, LOL." Yeah,
Yeah.
the more truth.
Mm-mm.
Oh wow. So did you like at that time, like when you were saying I'm not I'm not fooling with you. You just tickle me. You say, I don't know about the 13 years, but so was there anything that you thought of, or was it like just a feeling that came out of nowhere, or it was just like
It didn't
you get
come
what
out
I'm saying?
well.
Huh?
It didn't come out of nowhere.
No, no. Was it a man that you was like conversating with, or like
I don't understand what you asking me.
you said I can't necessarily say the whole 13 years
No,
because
it was just me
oh, it's just you.
with the
So did you get lonely? Like
with the batteries. I used to go to Sam's and get the batteries.
woo, I am not gonna go there with you.
I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm being honest. I'm being honest. Yeah. That's why
We
I say
thank you for your
what I want to
honesty.
hone in on, what I want to hone in on the 13 years, people don't know that wipes out abstinence. It really
Okay.
does.
Okay.
It really does. It really does.
So, but now my question is, was it the whole 13 years or was it just a part
No,
of
no. I give myself a good 9.
a good, okay,
Yes,
okay,
9.
okay, that's good. I mean, that's still good.
Well, 4 years I struggled.
Yes. I think if everybody tells the truth, that we all struggle within our year. I have struggled within my years. It was a time where I'm telling you, I wasn't, Jesus, we don't even need to talk to me about being kept right now because I'm thinking I'm about to do what I want to do and you're not moving fast enough. You're
Right.
not moving fast enough. You ain't said nothing. No, I'm going to go do what I want to do. So there have been a time that even in my process of um letting go of some things that I've had a struggle with. Like, I'm telling you, I wanted to give some stuff up. But you know what the Holy Ghost kept telling me over and over again? And I wanted to. Yeah, I was. I searched me out a man and was going to be in hell in trouble. It was going to be hell in trouble. I'm telling you. And I searched me out a man, and I was like, well, not even searched him out. He found me. And I was like, okay, I think I could like him. Even though I didn't like him like that, but I was thinking I might can because my flesh started speaking for me.
Right.
And so it really does happen. And if all of us told the truth about our single process, we can say that in certain areas there was a struggle, especially when you want to get outside of the will of God. And I'm telling you, I wanted to. And the Holy Spirit would say, that's not how your story ends.
Right.
That's not how your story ends. That's not how your story ends. But you know, he said so much, but I don't even want to hear what you got to say right now.
Didn't we do it?
Yeah. You might well leave it out.
The whole time you self-gratifying, the Holy Spirit speaking to you.
Yep.
Hey, will you please leave?
Let me just enjoy this moment right here. So I do get fully exactly what you're saying about it. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Talking about pulling me from the trenches.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Preacher's kid.
Oh, yes. Yes. Wow.
God's grace. God's grace.
Yes. God's grace. So what helped you to be able to get like through that process of struggling with for those few years?
I started feeding my spirit more.
Because
it was starved.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It really was. It really was. And that concept is so true. Whatever you feed, that's what's going to lead.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's just like if you have a baby right now in America and take that baby and start speaking nothing but Chinese, that baby going to speak Chinese.
Yep. Chinese. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
And if your spirit, they got a soul that lives in the body, you got to take care of all of them holistically, but you have to, I want to be spirit led.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Spirit led. You know what I'm saying? I want to always get that default button. It's going to always, I want it to always be, do it always be no, but I want it to always be the Holy Spirit speaking and let me know, okay, Angela, don't do that. Don't go left. Angela, don't go right. Because you know he is our GPS.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
He tells you when to stop, when to go right, when to go left, when to yield.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? When to make a U-turn. And see, the difference is he was doing that in the dark. But our spirit wasn't stronger than our flesh.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And see, once you strengthen and cultivate that love that you have for him, you just want to please him.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah, and that's the truth.
So, and that's what, yeah.
But did you have like a moment that where you was like, this not right, or I need to stop doing this, or was it like something like that happened, or you was just like, I can't do this and actually wait for who God's sending me to or sending for me?
Right, because I had an epiphany, and I was like, the best way, and I don't know where I was at. It was some woman of God that gave me a word and says that God has a lot for you. He has blessings for you, but the best way for you to get to your blessings is through his will.
Oh, wow.
You can't get it no other way.
Yes, ma'am. That's right. That's true.
You can't.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, Angela, You know what's right. And my daddy's little voice, do the right thing because it's always the right thing to do. And that's the way. That's the quickest way to get God's blessing. You
Oh
know.
yes, man.
And
Oh yes.
until you get tired of living, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yes.
And it just hit me one day. I said, Angela, you know, this ain't getting you nowhere.
Oh yes,
What you doing
ma'am.
this for? And you have a conversation with yourself. And you say, and I'm that matter of fact person. When I say that's it, that's it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah.
Get to that point where just denying it and saying, "Oh wow." So was it to your closer to your ending of your part, or was it closer to your first beginning of your part of
It was
like actually sustaining a weight?
child, when I made the decision and the dedication that night, I was just
I could. You said right.
it was at the beginning. It was at the beginning.
Yeah, so it was at the beginning.
It felt like I had said, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I was just, you know how you go leave a church service, and you like, oh yes, oh, I can charge hell with a water pistol. Child, that night. Well, I ready to start fresh in the morning. And it continued for maybe what, 4 years.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So do
See,
you feel like it's a stronghold? Did you ever have to get to the root of it or why? Like you felt that way? Why were you, doing that? Because I know you said it was you, but something was enticing you to be able to have that. You get what I'm saying? That satisfaction of that feeling.
I didn't have contrary to what I sound like, I didn't have a lot of male companionship. You know what I'm saying? Not, I can count on my one hand, right? I really
Mm-hmm.
can.
Yes, ma'am.
However, I always thought that I wasn't good enough for a man.
Mm.
I ain't had to worry about that with Duracell. I'm being serious. I'm being serious.
I know.
Duracell can't judge you.
Yes. Take it or leave it at this point. Yeah, Duracell is a take it or leave it. It is what it is. Okay. Oh
You know what I'm saying?
wow.
So,
Yes.
so that gratification was there, and that non-judging, as
Yes.
far as another person, was not there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. So basically, yeah, it's just okay. Yeah, I'm trying to be serious, but I'm like, oh my goodness. Woo! Oh wow. So I'm trying to think where I'm gonna go after this. Because it's that's honest, the truth of you what? Wait. Yeah. You said you didn't have energized. Really? Really, Apostle?
Apostle.
Angela Nigga said, oh my. Oh my. Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Woo.
Oh wow, that you definitely came in and shared that truth of food. Lord have mercy. Unexpectedly, but we needed to actually hit it to be able to know, like, oh my gosh, like, I guess so. My question is, all of this happened and all of this was happening, why actually abstaining, or like you said, you had to come to the point of doing it the way that God wanted to be able to do, and
Mhm.
having an epiphany that you want to give Him more of you than
Yeah.
see, I was about to joke. You want you wanted to give Him more of you than that energizer battery, which you said that you got from Sam.
Mm-hmm.
You say you got it at Sam, so oh wow. Out here unlost, you just got the laughing faces. The laughing faces.
Yeah.
Okay, so but okay, so where did where did like your courting come in at any point? Like where did the courting come
Okay.
in? Where did the
3 years ago.
9 years of the actual being celibate and actually
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
doing it the right way?
Right. Right. And had some almost, you know, had some
Mm-hmm.
oops, in between during that 9 years, but
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah.
and what I had in over those 9 years, what I did was really throw myself into, okay, God, here I am. Right.
Yes.
Okay. At the time, and I'm gonna tell you, a very good friend of me and Apostles is um Pastor Gwen Kennard. I had
Yes.
a conversation with her one time, and she asked me, she said, Angela, she said, you had this guy that was liking you and he was talking marriage. Do you really want to be married?
Mm-hmm.
She said, don't answer that, just sit with it. And I kind of felt a particular kind of way when she asked me that. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever she told me to sit with it, very powerful woman of God, Pastor Gwen
Oh,
Kennard. And
oh,
and
yes.
I started sitting with it and I thought about it. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, it was probably maybe like 8 years before I got married, up until
Mm-hmm.
this present time, that she made me think. At the
Mm-hmm.
time, I didn't want to be married.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't. I did
Mm-hmm.
not want to be married because I did not want to face, what if I fail?
Come
What if I'm
on.
not enough? There's creeping up again, right? What if I fail?
Yes.
Okay, you
Yes.
failed before. You failed before, Look what happened with your last marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus.
And
Yeah.
so, okay, here we go. Back on the roller coaster again. So I was like, well, I'll do good. Just love on the Lord, love on my family, and my grandbabies are here now. And I
Mm-hmm.
just, I'm content. I'm content. And so that's what I did. I worked. I saw about my parents, my daughter. I was loving life and letting life love me while loving God. And I was
Yeah.
content. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I fulfilled for the very first time. And I think that's the place where God was talking about when he says, he that findeth a wife, find
Jesus.
good, findeth a good thing and find favor with
Mm-hmm.
the Lord. Because
Okay.
a husband finds a wife, not a girlfriend.
Come on now.
She wife ready, right? And so you're doing everything you know to do for the Lord.
Yes.
And I was content with the state that, the state I was in. I was content. I had my little cottage in Duncan, South Carolina. I worked 2 miles from work. You know, I lived 2 miles from home, and my money wasn't funny, and I was paying my tithes and offerings. I was giving donations. I was just loving life and letting life love me while loving God.
Jesus,
Content,
yes, ma'am.
just as content as I wanted to be, right? And that's
Yes,
when I
ma'am.
and that's when I was found. This guy reached out to me, and he
Mm-hmm.
said he came in my inbox, and I was like, I ain't bothered. And I talked to my dad about it, and 3 months went by, and my dad said, "Well, it won't hurt to give to talk to a person on the phone. You talk to a lot of people on the phone, right?"
Yeah.
And one thing led to another, and the story behind that is when God sends you the man. Can I say that?
No, no, no. Yeah, tell me. I
Not
want
yet.
to know.
Not yet.
Have God ain't sent me nobody? Is you prophesying?
No, but I'm saying when God sends, if you're abstaining and you're waiting, when God sends the man, don't put the man where only God belongs.
Come on, talk to us right there now.
Yeah.
Come
Don't
on.
put nobody in the place or the space where only God belongs. Because
Yes,
God
ma'am.
is a jealous God, and he will have
Mhm.
no other God before you. You can't forget about God when you get
Yes,
with
ma'am.
this man. And
Yes, ma'am.
I did that for a minute.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell us okay, so you went through the process. You went through the process. You talked to your husband. He courted you. He
Yeah.
courted you,
Yes.
and y'all dated. Kim, before you even go to that part, can you just talk about like the courtship part? Like, how was y'all? I know you said y'all started on the conversation, but how was your courtship part?
It was
Like,
wonderful.
no.
It was wonderful. He reminded me of my dad. He's
Oh
kind.
wow.
He was kind during courtship, considerate, um, um, caring. We talked on the phone more than we did anything. Then we started FaceTiming, and then the visits started, and then the conversations started about the future, and we just did everything. We just did everything together. We just did
Oh wow.
everything together. We went to outside events. He would do things like take me to the park, take me to the there's several areas in North Augusta and Augusta with the
Mhm.
waterfront, and we watched the sunset. It was just lovely. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am.
And then
Yeah.
and then he popped the question, and then I said yes.
Oh
And
wow.
my dad came and married us. We had probably 8 people in the house, had a small wedding, and then I was working here and whatnot. And so here we are a year and some months later from being married.
So can I ask a question? Because this is
Uh,
what I wanted to. So how long was it from the day y'all started talking to courtship to when he popped the question to you to marriage? Like how long was your span in between there?
a year and 4 months.
Oh wow. Okay.
A year and four
Hey,
months.
because you know what? Because I keep hearing this over and over again, and this is one thing that a lot of men say that men know who they want when they know what they want. So it doesn't take men 10, 15, or 20 years to be able to decide that he wants to be with that woman. He already knows whether
Right,
he wants to or he don't want to be with it. So it's not like a whole um plethora of time that you have to wait to be able to marry the woman that you get what I'm saying.
right, right,
So I'm listening to you and you telling me that, and what you sounding like is that he already had his mind made up to what he wanted, and y'all conversations aligned with each other,
right, right,
aligned
right,
with each other to be able to, go to that next step.
right.
So You get through that, and you get to, because I'm trying to make sure, because we got a lot of single ladies,
Okay.
and I see Evangelist said, "Come on and help us single ladies." So because we waiting, and we
Well,
waiting who the person that God has for us that He's sending. But what
okay.
you sound like you're telling me is I need to check my inbox.
No, that's not what I'm telling you. Because I can't tell you. I can't tell you how he gonna show up.
Yes,
But I
ma'am.
tell you how he gonna find you.
Yes. Come on, tell me how you gonna
He
find us.
gonna find you doing the will of the Father. Okay.
Mm.
If he find you any kind of way,
Mm.
push pause.
Come on.
Push pause. Because the word of God says, and it's matter of fact, single ladies, he that findeth a wife. Okay, if you
Mm-hmm.
ain't ready to be a wife, God didn't say he that findeth a girlfriend that's trying to be a wife. If you ain't ready, keep waiting.
Yeah.
You know if you're
Yeah.
ready or not. You know if you're ready or not. Are you wife?
Yeah.
Are you wife material? Are you
Mm-hmm.
ready to become one with a man
Mm-hmm.
and submit to a man?
Mm-hmm.
Are you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
can't
No. No.
you can't
Tell.
change the scripture and say, let this mind be in me that's also in me.
Talk to us.
Tyler Perry said you give up the eyes for we.
Mm.
You know, it's
Yes.
two of y'all trying to become one. It ain't you trying to making him become you. Ain't gonna,
Yes.
it ain't gonna
Jesus.
work. So
Mm.
this is what you need to find out. What is a wife? He that findeth a wife, right?
Mm.
Because even with my marriage, you know what I'm saying? Even though with my marriage, we have gone through things that we didn't need to go through because of that.
Oh wow. Come on, tell us because of what?
Okay, here's the thing. How can I say this? Just say it. Um, Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatever you sow, that shall you also reap. So you have to remember at all times you're always sowing and reaping at the same time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you ask yourself those questions, why are some things happening? You need to kind of look in the mirror and ask God why these things happening, okay? And things I believe with married couples, when they get married, they go through things unnecessarily because they get out of line with God. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And whenever, and I can personalize this, is I think that me and my husband have gone through some things because I got out of line, not with him, but I got out of line with God.
Okay. Come on. Talk to us. Come
In the way
on.
God say I'm supposed to flow. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yes,
Because the
ma'am.
word of God, it unequivocally says, he that if you seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and he'll add everything else. And he'll align,
Thanks.
that means he'll align everything else.
Yes.
If I keep myself,
Mm-hmm.
my wife, if I keep myself, my direct line with God, and
Yes,
be
ma'am.
pleasing to him and walk in the way he want me to, as Angela, a wife, a
Yes.
child of God, it's going to align with my husband. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
And it
Ma'am.
will, and he has to do the same thing,
Oh,
right?
yes, ma'am.
He has to do
Yes.
the same thing. So what we have to do is, if I and to be honest, I ask myself this all the time. Angela, you think it would have made a difference if you had waited for 6 months before getting married? Just waited.
Mm. Yeah.
would you have been a better wife? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's a big learning curve for me. Because you remember I was single for a long time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And then when I
yes.
was married before, I was broken.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Jesus.
in 9 years, God is I'm best buds with God because I'm getting nuggets because God put a lady in my life. What's her name? Apostle Robinette.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
came to some church services and we ended up starting a women's group where the I can't even think of the name of the group, Apostle Collar.
But I can't remember it either.
It's something about collar. Lord, I'm getting older.
It was
Clergy.
the Collar sisters, the Collar sisters. No
I
Collie, no clergy sisters.
Apostle. What's the name of that group? But anyway, that
Apostle-
helped me by being around other women who were women are women of God and being wives who have come from point A to point B and have learned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am.
Have learned got that learning curve of things. You know what I'm saying? It has that maturity. And if you can say you ready, but don't be in love with marriage more than you with being married more so than being with a mate. You
Come
can't
on.
get twisted because sometimes we're in love, more in love with being married than we are the union. Do
Oh,
that make
yes,
sense?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And so that's what I would have for the single ladies. If you have pause, wait. If you are not ready spiritually as a wife, wait.
Mhm.
But if you
Yes.
can't wait, go ahead and get married. It's better
Oh,
married than burn.
you know, while you saying that, and it is because along my journey, I have met, other singles and other people that talk. And I remember me and this, it's no clergy,
Yeah, I got
Kyla sister. I knew it was something like that.
yes. Thank you, Apostle.
And Apostle said my husband found me playing the poker machine.
They walked that thing out together, didn't they? That Pastor, y'all walked that thing out together. Now y'all two powerful people.
Yeah,
Powerful.
yeah. And she said we've been together for 22 years.
Yes.
So I mean, because it's all kind of answers, and I mean all kind of things. But I just remember being single and being single, and every time me and this young lady, we would always go out and talk about things. But we met at a singles thing, and we became friends. And it was like every single time we got together, we just talked about the singleness. And I just one day, I was like, you know what? We not going to talk about this because this is not going to be the focus of my life. This is not going to be the focus of the thing I think about because I'm one of them type of people. I was like, you haven't seen all these people that's dying in the world. You haven't seen the corruption that's going on. If I only sit and just think about myself and how I want this husband so bad, I want this husband so bad, it makes you get anxious.
Yes.
And you want to be anxious because anxious got me into the trouble I was almost in the last time. Anxious.
Right.
Can't wait. I'm going to do it myself, Lord. And
Right.
so and she was offended that I had said it, but it
Right.
wasn't that I was trying to be offensive. I just know how the enemy could come in those conversations and
Right.
come in those and make you crave a thing because
Mhm.
what you just said, being in love with the ideal of just being married, but not actually understanding what it
Right.
is to actually sustain in that marriage. That's a
Yes.
real thing. You know what I'm saying?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. A real thing. So I love that you said that. So we going through courtship. We going through where you just told us that if we have a pause in our spirit, then that means pump your brakes, sis. Pump your brakes, bro. Just pump them. So we are at that place to where now you're getting into you got courted, you got sought after, you got courted, and when you got courted, you got married. Now you're married, and you said that in this part of the relationship, the part we move in, you said that you got with your husband and put Jesus on the back burner. Come on, you got to tell us something.
I'm gonna do that.
Yes.
Okay. I can remember one day
Yes, ma'am.
he came and he told me, and he said it like this, and I got so mad at him for
Yes,
telling.
ma'am.
He said, I don't even know who you are anymore because I don't see you reading your word no more. I don't see you praying no more. I
Oh
got
wow.
offended. I
Yes.
got offended. But
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
I went to this place. How dare you? You don't see me when I'm praying. You don't see what I did before. Right?
Jesus.
Right?
Yes.
So we hit a rough patch. We
Yes.
we hit a rough patch. We
Hmm.
did.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
found myself with feelings of inadequacy. Well, you knew this was gonna happen. That voice trying to creep back. Well, you knew this was gonna
Mhm.
happen anyway. Okay, you know with this did all this stuff, and I'm like,
Mhm.
you know what? After a couple of days, I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? That makes perfect sense because let me look at the person in the mirror and ask them the question: Have
Jesus.
how much are you reading? How
Yes.
much are you
Yes.
praying? Let's be honest with yourself, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm saying so.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't digress on God
Mm.
because he is a jealous God. How dare I pray for something and then God bring that thing to pass, and then I be the one that got healed and don't go back and tell the Lord thank you.
Jesus. Come
You know,
on.
because that's
Yes.
basically what I was doing. Okay, God, I got it. All right, you going over there somewhere. I come I
Mm.
I come get you when I want you, right?
Jesus. Yeah. Yeah.
And so what I did was, okay, I want to be a good wife. So let me do this. And so I was consumed with doing. And I wasn't doing that for performing. You know what I'm saying?
You.
I wasn't doing that but performing, trying so hard in the overdrive, trying to be that good, perfect wife. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Well,
Yes.
what was God? Where was God?
Mm-hmm.
Did I still remember that if I seek him first, he'll add everything else? Was I doing it? Was I walking that out? No.
Yeah.
And things start
Jesus.
to happen as a result of it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes,
Never put
ma'am.
never put a man where only God belongs. That was my
Jesus.
net. So
Mm-hmm.
I quickly said, okay, God, I see. Quit screaming so loud.
I know, right?
I get it. I get it. I get it. And then I went to a ladies' church for the first time. My husband was working first shift on a Sunday. So I left our church, Beulah Grove, and went to this church. I said, I'm just going to go on over here and see what they about. So holiness,
Mm-hmm.
they were getting out of Sunday school. The woman of God, she been preaching forever, was going to the back. Her armor bearer was behind her, and she turned and looked over her shoulder, and she came all the way to the back row. and put her hands on me. She said, the Holy Spirit wanted me to come and ask you, where is your light? You can't hide
Jesus.
it under the bushel. He said, when
Mm.
God blesses you with a thing, you can't put that thing before God.
Jesus.
Then he know the person.
You do.
But God knew me to tell the
Yeah,
person,
but
tell me that, so I could
yeah,
believe it, right? So I could believe,
yeah.
right?
Oh
That's
wow.
how it works. That's what prophecy is.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, God, yeah.
Oh wow.
And then, you know, we talking about him who told me the same thing.
Mm.
In different words, but pretty much told me the same thing.
So you got it 3 times back to back. Your husband told you, then the lady at the church told you, then the apostle told you. So he came in threes to
Yeah,
let you know.
yeah. And so that my point in that, you cannot allow when God blesses you with a thing, whether it's your husband, whether it's with that job, whether it's with healing, you can't forget to remember.
Mm.
You can't forget to remember.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, and that's what I
Ma'am.
did. That's what I did with that. When I got the blessing, oh boy, here come the rough patch. Because I
Oh
forgot.
wow.
Because I forgot to remember. You
Oh
know.
wow. Mm.
You know.
That's it's a in Auntie said, how long did you date before you got married? They dated for a year and a half. Well, you answer it.
A,
Sorry.
a year and 4 months.
Okay.
A year and four
So,
months. Uh-huh.
oh wow. So yeah, that is. But what was the thought in your mind that made you feel like you just had to do perform? Well, did it? And you said it started creeping up in you. It was
You
those
got
old things that.
you got to be good
Mhm.
enough. You got to be good enough. You got to be the good wife. You got to be so you got to put the work in. You got to put the work in,
Mm.
right? Because in the back of my
And
mind,
those, huh? I'm sorry.
I didn't want to not be good enough,
Oh wow.
right?
Yeah. So like you said, do, and keep on doing, and exhausting yourself because, like you said, it was taking the where your strength came from. You get what I'm saying? Out of the play, and
Right.
so, oh wow,
Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah.
And,
So
and so where do you I gotta ask this question. So how in your mind do you get from the performance to actually being good enough? Or you just feel like that was just something that was that was something that you understood from your years earlier? Performance being good enough. Like how did that come into play in your thoughts?
it was from my childhood. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't get married for so long and stayed single for so long because I did not want to fail. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
mm,
I did
yeah.
not feel like I was good enough. That's why I didn't have a problem with abstaining from a
Hmm.
man. I really
Yeah.
did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh
Because
yeah.
that was a safe place for me as far as
Hmm.
abstaining from a man. Does that
Hmm.
make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
and so and so and Matt outside, okay, you want to keep this, this is a good thing, and so you got to do everything you supposed to do, and and like something, nobody gave me a list, but that was in here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah,
And
yes, ma'am.
right. And so the way I reverted from that is I went
Hmm.
back to the cross.
Yes, Jesus.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I got
Yes,
everything
ma'am.
back in order. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am. Oh,
I
yes,
put him,
ma'am.
I put him first
Oh, yeah.
because he has to always be first.
Oh yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Oh yes, ma'am. And that's the thing to remember, even in the moment of actually me going to that place of getting married, to the place to where making sure that the things that I do now in my singleness and why I'm single, that I don't put them to the side or put them in there. That's a good point of wisdom to be able to share with some of us single ladies that are looking to be married and wanting to be married, that we get to that place where we don't feel like that we got to just do and do to make sure that it work, and then put God, to the side. That's a very, very um good point. Like I said, to share with that's words of wisdom for
Mm-hmm.
me and all of the other ladies that actually want to get married, and we waiting on the husband, and we waiting on the husband. But like you said, we don't want to get the husband and then get the husband and then forget about the Lord.
Right.
So
Right.
that's a good point to even say, or to be able to be vulnerable enough to be able to share that,
Mhm. And
So
my sister, not my sister, my daughter, who is a licensed therapist, she posted something on her practice. She got her own practice on her page, and
mhm,
she and I'm gonna
well,
try to nutshell it. What she said was, anytime you choose to be in a relationship, in a community of a church,
yes, ma'am.
especially a relationship she was talking about, if it costs you,
Mm,
it's too expensive.
come on,
If it costs you,
come
it's too
on.
it's too expensive,
That's
because God,
good.
you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
If you feel like you got to dumb yourself down to be with this person in this relationship, if this person wants to change everything about you, that you know you're walking with God, it's too expensive. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Yeah. If it costs you, it's too expensive.
it is. Now that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the number one truth. If it costs you, then it's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. That's the purpose that you walk in, the authority that you walk
Exactly.
in, the grace
Exactly.
of God that you walk in. You get what I'm saying? There's so
Come on.
many
Come
things
on.
attached to just that
Yes.
one thing. Oh
Yes.
wow. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Mm.
Look what Apostle said.
We counsel. She said
Mm-hmm.
this thing is like in my way. She said we canceled our wedding 2 times. He left me for 2 weeks, and oh no, I can't even. When he
And
saw
when
her
he Mhm.
and running after him, then he came.
See, that's significant. That's significant right there. You know, it's comical, but she's saying it, but that is significant. And that just signifies what I just said. She
Yes,
didn't allow,
ma'am.
she didn't allow that to cost her herself. When he
Yes.
saw she was not coming back, he got some sense.
Yourself right.
Right? Right? Yeah.
Yourself right.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the truth, I guess. Like you said, the standing in your authentic tenses. Oh, I can't get the word out, but
Authenticity.
yes,
Authenticity.
there,
Yeah. Yep.
standing in that and walking in that and actually being that, it just lets you know that that does matter. It
It
does
does.
matter. It
It
matters.
does. Yep.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything else that you would want to share with us, like single ladies, like? Tell us, because like I said, you talked about the process of it, and the the process of everything that in your 13 years that you had went through, you had faced, and like you said, you don't believe in the 13 years, but you said a good 9, a good 9, a good 9, good 9. I was right with the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Get the truth in the house.
So, is there anything in your spirit, in your mind, that you want to just be able to the lady that's on the other line, or the man that's on the other line, because this man that do wait too, tell us, give us some words of wisdom, speak to the heart, however you feeling, and
Okay.
however God use you. Go ahead and go off of that moment just right now, please.
Okay. 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 What I would say to the single man or woman
Mhm.
is the quickest way to get to, if you want to be married, the quickest way to do it is to do it the way the word says. Quickest
Yes,
way.
ma'am.
If you want a godly man, be a godly, be a wife, be wife
Mhm.
ready, and
Yes, ma'am.
let him find you doing the word, the will of the Lord, trying your best. You know, we all fail and we fall down, we get up, but God
Yes,
looks
ma'am.
at the heart. Do what you can to cultivate your relationship with God. And I promise you, if you do that, God honors that. He
Yes,
does.
ma'am. Yes,
He
ma'am.
God is not looking for perfection. I don't believe it. God is
Mhm.
not looking for perfection. He's looking for a people after his heart that wants to be better today than they were yesterday,
Yes, ma'am.
that wants to do his will. So, man, woman out there that's looking for a husband, that's looking for a wife, husband, look for a wife, not a husband. Wife, look
Yes,
for
ma'am.
a husband, not a wife. And
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
God's way. And God's grace can flow in those areas too. And you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother show. But
Yes, ma'am.
just try your best to be the best you that you can be. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
wow.
Just try to be the best you that you can be. And if you delight yourself in the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
He will give you the desires of your heart.
Yes. Yes,
God's
ma'am.
word for God's people. And that's a nutshell. If you delight yourself in the
Mm-hmm.
Lord, He
Yes,
will
ma'am.
give you the desires of your heart.
Yes,
And just
ma'am.
try your best to get in the word, get in a good service. I know a church in Greenville,
Mm-hmm.
that's down on Ledbetter, that if you want a good church in Greenville, South Carolina, go on
Yes,
over and
ma'am.
see Apostle Robinette. I promise you, you won't be sorry. And yeah, and just read your word, pray and ask God to help you to be better, and get in a good church service, and just the singles, stay away from the batteries.
I am not gonna go there with you. You heard that? That's what it said. Get yourself in a good church. Get your feet in foundation that is not steady, because the batteries will try to get you.
Yeah. If you want a good job, you go there and you put in applications. You get online, you put in the work. If you want a good
Yeah.
job, you see what I'm saying? If you desire to have a husband, if you desire to have a wife, put in the work.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
And
And we,
your directions
yes, ma'am.
is in the word.
Yes, ma'am. And yeah. And when you say put in the work, you meaning necessarily um making sure that whatever is the areas that God need to correct or God need to be able to fix in us, that we begin to give that time actually to God too as well, because you don't know when God is going to come in and give you that thing that you had been praying about or waiting for.
Right.
And Evangelist Dickey said batteries in the TV show. I'm not fooling with y'all tonight, okay? Apostle Smith said
Psalms 37.
Psalms 37 and 4. And while she's saying Psalms 37 and 4, it made me think about, okay, so like recently, these last couple of months, I was in the scripture and I was just so happy to read that scripture. And it's actually, I had pulled it out. I meant to write it down, but I had my Bible right here. And it
Mhm.
was just for the singles, just so you know, or the singles, or even if somebody's waiting in the process or whatever is going on in marriage or however it go. But I was reading it, and it was Psalms 25 and 1 through 3, and I did want to share this, and it
Okay.
says, "You, O Lord, I lift up my soul. Oh
Mhm.
my God, I trust in you. Let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Indeed, let no one who waits on you be ashamed. Let those be ashamed who deal treacherously without cause." But when I had read that scripture, the first thing that I had got out of it that particular day is that those that wait on God and those that wait in God will never be put ashamed. Because people tell you, you got to test out the car before you drive it. You got to do all of these things. But if my Bible says, and God's word still stands, but He tells me that whatever I do and I put my trust in Him, that I would never be put ashamed. Because you have a lot of people that say it, and then you have some people that, you know, get the man in the way that they get the man, and then they gloat over you. But in actuality, God says, if I put myself in Him and I wait, that
Right.
those I would not be put ashamed. I cannot be put ashamed for whatever you waiting for. It
Right.
don't necessarily have to be just a husband, but it can be, some people want to see breakthroughs in their family, the
Yeah.
breakthroughs from stuff that they've been praying for, that they've been plowing for, but they've been sowing for. But the scripture just clearly said to me, and
Yes.
it began to make me weep.
Mhm.
That God was just saying, no, no, you trust in me.
Mhm.
You put your faith in me. So you can't be put ashamed. It's not
Right.
something to mock at. The people do mock with, people do wait.
Mhm.
People, it's a lot of mocking. People would ask me, well, why would you do that? Why would you ever? No, no, no. I put my hope, but I did put my trust in the things of God when I knew what it actually meant, from
Right.
not just doing something that somebody told me I'm supposed to do, from actually doing it what it actually did meant. And I can say that even when you testify, even tonight, that yes, there have been times in my years that I did not want to wait, and
Right.
years that not want to wait, in God's time, it was not on the right time for me. Okay?
Right. Right.
Like, get that together,
Yes.
Lord. Your timing and my timing is completely different.
Right. Yes.
And you gotta, so I just appreciate you. And is there anything else that you would like to say? Is there anything else that you can think of? Like, is there
No,
anything?
no, I just appreciate having the opportunity to come and just be transparent, because my story is for God's glory, and I'm just so appreciative that if I help one person, encourage one person, you know
Yes, yes, ma'am.
because when we get a scar and it's
Mm-hmm.
bleeding and everything, and when it heals, we can look at that scar, we can touch it, it don't hurt like it used to, and we can
Yeah.
say, you know what, that's an ugly scar, but guess what? It's a victory scar. Because
Mm.
let me tell you how I got it, and I thought I wasn't gonna make it as a result of that scar. But look at me now. And we
Yeah.
all have scars. And let's face it, we've all been rescued to become a rescuer.
Mm-hmm. Come on. That part. That part right there.
It's all about. Because
Yeah.
because I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done. When I lost my son, my mama tried to help me. My daddy tried to help me. And that's significant saying my daddy couldn't help me.
Mm-hmm.
My sisters tried to help me. But I ended up going to Cato's after being in the house for 3 months. And I end up running into a lady that I used to be a nursing assistant with in Newberry. And she saw me, she was all jovial. And the first thing she said, Diane, is that you? And I was like, oh God, because I was just angry.
Yeah.
I told this story. And I tell you, I saw her and she wanted to talk to me and I didn't want to talk to her. And she started saying, I knew God wanted me to, I got off work this morning working third shift and I knew the Lord wanted me to come in here and pay my, pay on my layaway. And I told her, I don't want to hear nothing about what God, I don't want to hear nothing about God. And then you got to say about God. But
Yes.
by talking to her, nobody could help me. But whenever she shared her story with me and
Yeah.
told me, I don't know how you feel, but I promise you, if you allow God to help you, He'll turn this moment into seconds, your seconds into minutes, minutes into days, days and weeks, etc. And you'll be showing somebody else your wounds. It won't hurt like it do now, but it will get better. And I was like, everybody got this great advice. Everybody got this thing to say and that thing to say, but how can I believe you? And that's
Jesus.
when she shared to me that you remember that bad wreck in Newberry County where the 15-year-old and the 17-year-old was hit by the 18-wheeler that fell asleep and killed them. Those were my only two babies. So
Jesus.
that her story became believable. So
Yes.
we got a whole lot of stories, a whole lot
Yeah.
of wounds that God done healed us from. That's why I
Yes,
say
ma'am.
we have been rescued to become a rescuer, because the best influence and the best help that a person that's lost a child is for a person that have lost a child that's trying to help them. You see what
Oh,
I'm saying?
yes, ma'am.
That was
Yeah.
so information. Her story became believable. And I had somebody in front of me that had gone through more than I had gone through that's telling me it's going to be all right. And I had no choice but to believe her.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's with your story.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
with Apostle Robinette's story. That's
Yes,
with
ma'am.
Minister April's story. That's with all our stories. We have been rescued to become a rescuer. And when we go through hard times, it's not for nothing.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
to help other people through, right?
Yeah. Yes,
And
ma'am.
so, yeah.
And
Thank you for
you're
having me.
sorry.
I said, thank you for having me. I enjoyed
Oh,
this.
God be the glory. Surely, I told you when I heard you say that, and I was like, oh, wow. A lot of people don't go into, being transparent. I was like, I got to have you was going to be out here one way or another. It was going to be one way or another. I'm just getting my people together, but I already knew for you. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Good
thought it was
story.
nobody but God. But see, Apostle was the one who suggested you. See, I didn't know with the abstinence or the celibate abstinence. She the one who suggested for it, but I knew one way or another in the name of Jesus now. I got to be able to talk to her. We got to talk because,
Yeah.
I just love transparency. I love being open. I love being honest because that is how people heal. And just what you just said, we were rescued in order to be able to be rescuers for other people.
Mhm.
And that is a powerful statement. That need to be a shirt right there. You need to put that as a slogan right there. You need, yes, put that on a shirt right there because that is just a powerful statement. That's true. We are here to be able to help other people,
Mhm. Yeah.
and that's why we experience the things that we do. That's why we go through the things that we have. And Pastor said, "Bring her back." She got another powerful. I already know. I already know. I got to get my things worked on now. I really do. I appreciate you for being honest, and I appreciate you for being transparent
Yes,
about
ma'am.
the things you have faced and the things that you have been through. Yeah, I just appreciate it, y'all. Y'all, people don't really understand. We have so many people, and sometimes it's not the shame anybody because some people are not comfortable with actually telling the truth or being honest. But what you just said, we here to help each other. So
Right.
if we never testify about the things that we have endured or the things that we've been out, how can that one woman that is on the edge or that one man that's on the edge know that the edge is not the answer? You get what I'm saying? It's
Right.
that's the thing. So I just appreciate you wholeheartedly, very, very much. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing your story. Thank you for testifying. And I'm telling you, you give me a little time because I already know we're gonna have another conversation.
All right.
We got to have another conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And then you said you working with mental health.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and mental health, and then you can touch on even the a more elaboration even about the grief part
Oh yeah.
for people
Absolutely.
because there's so many people that's experiencing it, and there's so many people that don't know how to come out of it. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so and there's nothing else you wanted to say.
Yes, ma'am. I done said enough.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it all. We lost track of time. Listening, just I'm eating it all up. I appreciate it. Like I said, you gave us wisdom on so many different parts. Again, we appreciate you for coming in with us tonight and actually celebrating with us tonight.
Yes.
Our second year anniversary. To God be the glory. You're welcome. Um, on our second year anniversary. And again, we already had told y'all the things that we got going on.
Yeah.
Y'all don't forget, we got the Soaring Above It All journals in the workbook, y'all. The workbook was, I wrote personal testimonies of some of the things that I had to realize even about myself because surely I can't tell somebody else to soar above it all if I have not came to the place to understand that there are things in me that have been broken. There have been things in me that have been very, very tragic that I have endured and then I have faced. And like I said, again, the journals are available and also the workbook is available.
Okay.
We do got it in hardcover and we do got it in soft cover. And don't forget to check out the website because on Thursday I wanted to start something new for those that are still listening. I wanted to start something new to where I created a blog because like I said, we still need help after the fact of some of the things we face to where we got journal prompts that we can be able to walk and be able to process. I'm going to hit key points that how about to say prophetess, but I'm going to hit key points that evangelists have taught with us about on tonight. And we just write from that place because we do heal after the fact. You don't just hear from soaring above it all and then there
Right.
not be a place to be able to still heal. There's
Right.
still a place to be able to heal and use. And Apostle said, love y'all. And Auntie Outlaw said, powerful.
Hmm.
And Apostle said, And Evangelist Dickey said, awesome. Okay. And the Apostle said, awesome again. So, with all of that being said, we about to exit on out. And I always exit out on the outro. And it goes like, soaring above it all. Soaring above it all. Yes, you are. Bye, everybody.
Love y'all.
Love you too. Hold on, Evangelist.
Okay.